Hello and welcome everyone to Insane Days and Skills podcast number 4 with my first battle report from the MAPM tournament tournament I played in Regensburg in Germany last weekend. And yeah, right now I want to talk about the games I had there. So let's jump at first into my roster I played there. This is this. Yeah, I just want to give you a short explanation what my thoughts were when I built that roster, and I think after the fifth game I will do a short analysis of the roster, how it worked, which things were fine, and yeah, everything else. So just right now, just a quick explanation of how things should, I don't know, supposed to work. I don't know. So let's see. Yeah, at first is a lot of chaos instead of lust. He's quite tanky with bluffers and regen. Yeah, he has a big fear for lethal strikes and alchemy. Um, yeah, so that's why it's, I think you need always a unit for him where you can join this unit. It doesn't has to be all the time something where he's safe from cannons or stuff like this, so it doesn't has to be a unit of cavalry. It's also fine if you can join an infantry unit for example, just to be sure that no one can cast alchemy zero spell, for example, on him, because this really hurts him. But yeah, just in general, he's a great fighter, um, and then can fight nearly any character model which is out there. Next is another Lord of Lust. On Steed of Lust, I chose the pickaxe here to have something against big monsters. Um, and yeah, just the rest is pretty simple. 4 plus ward save and 1 plus armor. I forgot on that roster the shield, but it's in the point. So just while editing the roster to the right format, I just deleted the shield, but it's in the points, don't worry. Um, and the next thing is Bavarian Chief on Warhorse. Yeah, wanted to try this again, combined with these 13 Bavarian Horsemen with Wrath, Flail, and Banner of Fury. I already played them last tournament, combined with the Dragon, and I was pretty satisfied with them, so I wanted to give them a next try, just to see how they match up against some other rosters. Um, yeah, he's quite nice for his points. In charge, he has 3 attacks, strength 7, with 1 up armor, and he can roll this. This is, I think, from points perspective, pretty good. So that's why I wanted to play this one, and that gave me the possibility for a third hero. So if I don't play 3 lords, I could get this Wrath Priest, because I had last time only a Crown of Scorn for dispelling, and I really missed this +2 for dispelling. That's why I wanted to try out the Wrath Priest on Chariots this time, just with Hero Sword Lucky Shield. I mean, he isn't protected that good, but if you have such vulnerable targets as these lords, I mean, they aren't that vulnerable. They have ward saves or regions, but they're a much higher. They have a much higher value if you kill them. So that's why I was pretty okay with just 2 up armor for him. And Hero Sword gives him the ability to grind much better after he charged something. So then this whole model has 6 attack, strength 5 with +1 to hit things. It has Mark of Wrath, so the chariot is still good in grinding after he charged something. So next thing is, yes, like I said already, certain Bavarian Horsemen with Flail and Banner of Fury combined with the Makaljar upgrade from this Bavarian Chief. They have strength 6 in charge and can fight in extra ranks. And this is pretty nasty if you think about that. They are still fast cavalry, so they have Vanguard and they have free reform, and they can do pretty much anything they want. And yeah, so um, they're still quite vulnerable with just 3 up armor against shooting, with just toughness 3. I mean, it doesn't seem that vulnerable, but I think it can be against shooty list. Um, but yeah, like I said, I wanted to try them again, and let's see what they can do. For scoring, I still needed, of course, some units, so I chose 3 times Barbarians. They're the cheapest scorer you can buy in the Warriors of Chaos army, and I think they're pretty fine for this. I mean, 140 points for 20 wounds, just with toughness 3, but still 20 wounds. And they've come with True Chaos and paired weapons, so they can fight against these 5 fast cavalry guys, I think, pretty good. They all should always be able to kill them, and with True Chaos, their leadership 7 isn't that big of a problem for all these panic checks they will have to do. Then I chose 2 times 5 Hell Riders. I never played these before, but the Hellish Whip with the stupidity is pretty nasty, I think. So that's why I want to try them out, combined with these with the Lords instead of Lust. So a lot more units for Vanguard. They are redirectors as well. If you need them, I mean 190 points, you don't want to invest this that easily, but I mean still, if you have to redirect something there, they will do the job. And another nice thing is if you hit something with their shooting attack, the unit gets stupidity, but the other thing is that they strike with initiative 1 until my next shooting phase, and that gives me the possibility to place this barbarian horseman in front of something, place the hell riders right next to it, shoot on them, and then the barbarian horseman will strike before them, because this is another big issue of these barbarians, that they just have initiative 3, so they're as much out with initiative 4 or even 3, which can be pretty dangerous since they will kill a lot of your barbarians, right? So this was a combination I think I hoped to work well. Um, 5 Warhounds just as redirectors, and as a drop, you can just waste. Sometimes you just need to place something what you can just throw away, what you can waste if you have to do the dropping game or whatever. That's why I think these 100 points I invested quite well, and I didn't know what I could buy um, for them. I mean, I still sure could buy the 14th or 15th Barbarian Horseman here, or some more items for these both heroes since they aren't packed full for these both. Sorry, they aren't full on their items. Um, but yeah, just try to get as much points as I could to get in these Warhounds, because 1 unit extra I think is always better. And then 2 times Elder Dragon Centaur. I like this monster a lot. I didn't play it that much in the last time because I went for a, just a complete other build, but I like them. I really like them. They are fast, they are hard hitting, and they're really tough. So yeah, in my opinion, it's one of the best monsters out there right now. I really like it a lot. So yeah, just a quick explanation of the roster, already 10 minutes in. So let's see what the game will bring. My first opponent was Michael Wieshoy. He played Dark Elves, Cult of Yema. I will just go through his list pretty fast. He had his general uh, sorceress with 4 spells divination. The magic didn't have any important impact on our game, so that's why I think I will just ignore it. I mean, sure, he killed some stuff with his ring or with an how is this called? This new banishment. I think you know what I mean. This banishment spell from divination, but nothing else really happened with magic. Nothing important. Then he had this Cult Priest BSB on a Divine Altar with Yema. This was quite nice for me since I really have struggled to fight against against this Snap girl. She can be pretty nasty with her executioner weapon against my lords because she has then multiple wounds too. But yeah, I was pretty fine with this. Then yeah, just some core units, but really much shooting. So 30 repeater crossbows in total, and a pretty small unit of tower guard. Um, Two hydras. This was nice for me. I really fear the Kraken. It always has a potential to kill these lords just in a lucky one shot. I mean, sure, the Hydra is much more tanky, but I mean, you know what you will get there, right? 7 attack strength, 5 is not as unpredictable as 5 attack strength, 7 with D3 wounds. This is just always I don't like the gamble against this Kraken, and since I didn't have any magic to yeah to kill them just before this, I really had would have had a struggle with the Kraken, and then 3 times Dread Reaper. So pretty much pretty hard shooting on this side. So I was a little bit scared because I have really light and vulnerable targets with all the fast cavalry units. But yeah, so let's see how this game will go then. Okay, so we played Breakthrough on this map. It was Frontline Clash, and he dropped everything and went first turn. I would have had the possibility to place my army just around here, maybe with both of the monsters in the wood to get some cover, and then an aggressive vanguard into this ruin with maybe a unit of these um, Hare Riders combined with the Lord, um, combined with both of the Lords, and maybe another aggressive movement just behind this obstacle here. But this was pretty near to the Blackguard, and I didn't want to have to wanted him to have a kind of safe charge with them here because Golden can buff them to reroll their movement, the movement distance, the charge distance. That's why I was a little bit scared. And yeah, I don't know. I thought that the army wasn't able to yeah go through this shooting, and that's why I decided not for the aggressive way, just to stay back. And I also had to think about my barbarians, so I wanted to have the breakthrough because the thing was I could have had the first turn if I wanted, but I just placed the my dogs here, and because I wanted to know where my barbarians can go free through this terrain. If I commit, for example, to first turn place. Oh, sorry, this is um, last picture. If I commit everything and go for first turn, I have to deploy us pretty in the center, um, and then it can be pretty difficult for the barbarians to score because they have to get all the way through them, and they fear it just takes one Hydra to destroy all this barbarians. So that's why I wanted to have them have a free way for them. So that's why I decided for this deployment. So everything pretty in cover. Just the dogs they already were at this point, so just placed them in the ruin, and we went from there. So the next picture I think is after his first turn. So you see he just moves away his repeater guys. They just try to get the breakthrough. I mean, he knows that he has to hurry up because if I push through the center here, they won't be able to go here. So um, the Yema upgrade was fine for this. This extra inch movement was fine for him. So he killed, I think, the with magic and stuff, all the dogs there, and yeah, this was just it. I mean, uh, it wasn't that there wasn't so much to happen in his first phase. So then the next phase, I think the next picture is after my second movement phase. So I pushed pretty fast inside his units. So yeah, I moved my barbarian horseman um, a lot further and tried to screen his dark riders here so that they don't go behind my back and then try to kill the my barbarians here who wanted to score. But I did a big mistake there. I just forgot the Strider rule, so this unit just could go right through this ruin and he could place it here. Um, and I couldn't do anything about it, so I this was a pretty fuck up here. Maybe I could have switched both the positions here with the Hair Riders and the Dragon Elder Centaur. Maybe this would be possible, and then yeah, this place would be screened too. Then I did another mistake with the Lord here. Was this one? I wanted to have him out of line of sight of the Hydra, because I mean, sure, he doesn't fear the Hydra, but I don't want it to have to be pinned from the Hydra, so that it will charge me, and it would take me forever to kill this monster. I mean, I have to. It has like I have to make 10 wounds to kill it, and I just have 5 attacks. And if I didn't pass a fear test, which is a big weakness of these last lords, that they aren't immune to fear, then it can just take me like 4 or 5 turns just to kill this Hydra. And yeah, I just wanted to have both of the lords to move freely. That's why I didn't want the Hydra to charge me. But the mistake was he started his movement around here, and I could have easily deployed him like 1 or maybe 2 inch further to the Reaper Bolt throwers and still be inside the wood. So right now I need an 11 on the first bolt thrower to charge. I could have, like I said, easily to make it 10, maybe even 9 and still be in the forest and get light cover. I think this was a yeah pretty big mistake. If you this we will see in the next turns. Yeah, and everything else I think is pretty just straightforward. Just play aggressive. I mean, show this um, Shagard here is pretty exposed, but I wanted to pressure him on his Reaper auxiliary shooters. Yeah, on his shooter boys here. And wanted to prevent him from scoring. So that's why he went yeah just over here. And just let's see what will we see in the next picture. Yes, this is after my second movement phase, after my third movement phase, I think. No, this is my second movement phase. This, what you see, sorry, is obviously my first movement after Vanguard. And now we see after the turn after my second movement, this is like this. So what happened here? Like I already said, it was a pretty big fuck up that he could move on this direction here with one of his units, um, which were in this place, and they moved just through the ruin. They have Strider, so that's why it was pretty easy for them to, yeah, to go through that ruin. And what I did, I just used my Hell Riders and made them stupid, and placed that chariot just in front of them and hoped for them to didn't pass the stupidity test. Next stuff was that he shot with 3 single bolts on my Shagard and I lost 5 runes. I think this doesn't has to happen, but yeah, that was pretty big. He then redirected me with his with these guys, and yeah, they passed their reroll field test on 8. Um, from also the terror test, and another important thing happened here was that I failed my frenzy test on 9. I mean, I don't have a BSB, so yeah, that can happen. But this was pretty crucial because I just moved like 3 inch forward. If I could move, it have, could have moved freely, I could have easily pushed up to this location here. So I would force him to use his harpies, or maybe get next turn a single charge with the character out of the unit. But just like this, yeah, it's just like a lost turn with them. So that was pretty crucial. And like I said, I could move with the Lord. I could charge with the Lord on 11 here on this bolt thrower. I did that, but I didn't got the charge. I mean, 11 even with the reroll from Lust is, yeah, would have been pretty lucky. But on 10 reroll, I think I would have had a fairly pretty good chance of making it, and I and I rolled the 10. So yeah, that's why I was in that point I was pretty fucked up that I did that mistake in the turn earlier. And yeah, next thing happened, I just pushed a little bit further with the other Lord, still tried to be outside of the Hydra. I still wanted to be inside um, of my unit here. So he first had to shoot them to then to be able to shoot on this guy. I mean, I think I already lost one there, so yeah, with single bolts he already could have shot on this guy, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would have been fine if he would stand there alone. I don't know, but yeah, well, I just pushed forward just to be a little bit more aggressive. So let me see what's the next turns right now. The next picture I think is after, I don't know, after his I think after his third or fourth turn. So I will just explain some stuff from this picture here. So he moved with his shooter boys just up to this direction so that he could score, and he obviously killed this EDC um, with the charge of the Cauldron unit, and he went with the Hydra a little bit more over this flank. And with his Dark Riders, he tried to pressure my Barbarians who wanted to get the scenario score over this way. And he moved with his Hydra here to this location near my Last Riders, and used his burst weapon and killed everything except the Lord. And then he tried to shot on my lords with single target bolts, but wasn't able to do wounds there. This was pretty fine, pretty lucky for me. But still, after I lost already 5 wounds on in one shooting phase on the Shaggot, I think it's okay that he didn't do anything here. And yeah, then I charged with this with a blue lord, with a general. I charged this bolt thrower and the other one charged this one, so I could kill this one first, then charge into this one, kill with them both this one, and then charge into the next one and have a free reform after this. So have a free reform in his turn, which makes always pretty nice options in your for your next charges then. So this was pretty big. And yeah, let's see how this looks then. Yeah, the my barbarians just pushed to this location uh, to I really don't know what I thought about that when I went here. Really don't know because the Hydra just moved away from this position where he pressed onto my riders. I think I could have done that much better. But yeah, he then tried to screen with the harpies here. My lord, I think this was pretty okay because he prevented me from turning him just 90 degrees looking in that direction because he was 1 inch near my lord, so this was not possible for me. But this lord was able to charge next turn the harpies if I wanted this to happen. Yeah, and like I said, he tried to pressure my variants here in this corner with his Dark Riders. It's not that he would be able to kill me, but I mean, if he charged me, I have to do, I think, first turn obviously a test on 7 for my Steadfast test, and then I'm just pinned, so I can't move. I can't get my units to score. So that was the reason why it was pretty dangerous, this position here. And if I would have failed one of this leadership 7 tests, then I think I wouldn't have make it to 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 score there. So let's see what happens just then. I think the next picture shows one. I think the end of his 5th turn, something like this. So let's see. Yeah. So I moved my barbarians to and try to score here. This Jagged is not alive, he's just dead. I just did some proxy based stuff with him. So yeah, I moved the chariot on this place to counterattack the Dark Riders. So I just had to hold one time against that charge, and then I would have been able to charge them and get the barbarians free again. So what happened here? I charged the harpies with one of the lords, and I think it was both lords, and I was one lord, and I overrun with him, and with the other one I just went that direction here to try to pressure his scoring units in the back. I know it wasn't possible um, to kill these units of Blackguard. I mean, just right now I think I could have pushed more and try to kill them because together with both of the lords and a full Shaggot, I maybe could have done it, but I was just too scared on the killing blow attacks on the cauldron. So the 14 attacks from the cauldron, I think the guy with the pickaxe is pretty good to kill this one. But yeah, I don't know. I think I was just as scared the whole game, like in the from the deployment just to the end. So yeah. Here I redirected these Blackguard with a EDC with a Shaggot, just so that only 2 Blackguards could have attacked him, so not the Cauldron. I would have been fine with that, so I could strike into the Blackguard and then stomp it. So that's why I think I wouldn't have lost the combat, and yeah, could be able to kill maybe like 5 to 8 Blackguards. That would be pretty big. Okay, so yeah, I tried to push with Barbarian now that way to make his sorceress move a little bit further. Um, just right now they're pretty okay in numbers, but after some firebolts and some divination spells, they lost pretty much, pretty fast on count. So yeah, this wasn't that nice. So what happened then? He moved with his auxiliary shooters a little bit more in that direction, but he made a mistake. So the unit who was a little bit further away from from this general, he could charge this unit. Um, just through a line. I think on the next picture maybe you will see this a little bit better. Yeah. So here was my lord, and after he moved these guys, so the unit which was here, he turned around and tried to kill the Shaggot. That's why he didn't move more in that direction. So he would have been able to charge this direction here on this measuring device, and would have connected like around here on the second unit. So that's why he flew there, and he had to roll, I think, 7+ to get to be out of the field. And yeah, I think he rolled 8, 9, something like this. So they were out, and then I charged. It was both unit. It was all my three units here. These Corsairs, and killed them. So I was able to score the scenario here because I prevented him from scoring with 3 units, and I could kill with my chariot here his riders because my barbarians just hold against their charge, so they were able to score here too. And yeah, I had the possibility, like you see, and no, not here, but if you just remember the positions of these 3 units and then the blackguard here, I would have been able to charge with both lords and Shaggot the blackguard, but the Shaggot already lost many wounds against the shooting, and the magic phase just had 2 wounds left, and every lord already lost 1 wound. So yeah, I thought I wouldn't make it. Then I failed another important frenzy test and had to charge his Dark Riders here, and yeah, that's why I lost the unit and the hero too on the charge on both Hydras, and I think I just got this unit then too in the end. So this was his last movement phase. I overrun with all 3 here, and he wasn't able to see anything with the blackguard, so he just killed the last unit barbarians, the horseman and the hero with his Hydra, with both of his Hydras. After this, I think the score was 11-9 for him after victory points, and because I won the scenario, it got 12-8 for me. In the end, I think it's okay. I mean, I didn't try to kill him really hard. I pushed from a defensive position, so I can't argue that much that I wanted to have more points. I mean, sure, there could have been some things gone a little bit luckier for me, but still, I think I'm pretty satisfied with the result since he had a lot of shooting and he was a good opponent. He um, made sure that I couldn't do that much tricky stuff, and yeah, so after all, I was okay with the result, but yeah, I mean 12-8, it's not a win, and obviously I wanted to win with these warriors. But yeah, 12-8, it's okay. Scored, start in the tournament, so maybe not that good opponent in the next turn, in the next game. So yeah, let's see what next game will bring. Thank you for listening just right now, and we will see each other in the next battle report. See ya.